represents a Spitfire from the Operation Overlord period, 80 years ago, with the D-Day invasion stripes on. And it's going to be heading off to RAF Northolt in Greater London for its first engagement in this temporary colour scheme. There to participate in the annual Polish Air Force memorial service that takes place at that airfield, which has its own very strong wartime connections, of course, with the Poles who served as part of the RAF, as indeed does this airfield. And there's a strong connection with Duxford here, because number 302 Polish Squadron flew Hurricanes during the Battle of Britain, and they formed part of Douglas Bader's famous big wing, the Duxford wing, which operated, it must be said, so controversially from this airfield during the Battle of Britain. A concept that's still the subject of a great deal of debate as to its effectiveness or otherwise to this day. The aircraft is now forming part of the Polish Heritage Flight organisation, which you may have heard of on previous visits to Duxford. Their main aeroplane, as it were, is the historic aircraft collection Hurricane, which you can see currently and the Polish Heritage Flight is currently fundraising towards taking the Hurricane and hopefully Spitfire to Poland for commemoration at Berlin next year. So search for the Duxford to Berlin project, which the Polish Heritage Flight are undertaking, and do your bit to support a very worthwhile endeavour in next year's 85th anniversary year of the Battle of Britain and the 80th anniversary year of the end of World War II. This colour scheme has just been applied to the Spitfire in the past week. It took just 36 hours to do, with the help of various organisations led by Pete Medley from Flying Colours Contracts, helped by Vintage Fabrics over at Audley End, as well as, of course, the team from the Suffolk Spitfire organisation, Wisdom Art Prints, Sam Forbes from Marshalls at Cambridge, and others. And there's a very interesting story behind the pilot whose aircraft RW382 now represents in this 302 Squadron colour scheme. He's a Polish-American pilot, Michael Morajda, who was born in Akron, Ohio, to Polish immigrant parents. He was one of the Americans who, before the United States officially entered World War II, volunteered to serve in the RAF, arriving via Canada and joining 302 Squadron. And it's those markings that have been applied to this aeroplane. He later went on to fly with the US Army Air Forces, with the 56th Fighter Group flying P-47 Thunderbolts from Boxted. As for 302 Squadron itself, well, moving on from its service from Duxford during the Battle of Britain, it was one of the RAF squadrons that in the early days of the American bombing raids over Europe in 1942 by B-17s of the 8th Air Force provided close fighter escort before P-47s and P-51 Mustangs became available. And later, as specifically represented by the invasion stripes on this aircraft, 302 was the first of the Polish manned squadrons to land in Normandy after D-Day, being stationed at an advanced landing ground at Pluto. And here goes the Spitfire in its new Polish colours on its way to Northolt.